guys. I'm glad to be here. I'm going to give you as much detail and information as I can in a very short amount of time. I'm going to try to kind of cram 20 years worth of information into 20 minutes. So if anybody has questions after this, please reach out, and I'd be happy to schedule an in-depth demonstration. As some background, I'll try not to distract you with my screen right now, but as a background, ASAE, pronounced Exceed, not XCD. We've been correcting people for around 20 years now. So ASAE Technologies, we've been providing conference and association management software to our clients. Our clients are mainly academic and research-focused conferences and associations, and historically we've provided data collection and management software. We have in the last, I guess in 2020, pivoted to not only be the data collection and management software company, but also now a digital venue for our clients. So we've pivoted and created a lot of new virtual solutions for our clients in collecting their content and managing their data, and then kind of pivoting and transitioning into a virtual environment with that. We provide a large suite of integrated software solution, and integrated being the key term. We provide membership and association management software, attendee and exhibitor registration software, abstract and speaker management software, continuing education and tracking software, mobile apps, and now, of course, our virtual suite. I'll jump into this and just give you a little bit of background. As we started building this platform, we looked at what was important to our clients, and we kind of created three main buckets. There's the educational components, there's sponsorship and exhibits, and then there's networking. And if we said to ourselves, if we're able to recreate these three main buckets, then we'll have done a good job and given our clients, associations and conferences, the three main components that are what we determined to be the most pivotal pieces of an in-person conference. So we had a lot of our clients pivoting in the early stages of this year, in March, April, May, June, now through the summer, as they had collected their data through our system, and then we pivoted and built their digital venues. And we've seen an amazing transformation of their in-person events to virtual. And one of our tools that I'm going to start showing you is a digital asset collection tool that allows speakers who have submitted their abstracts or been invited as speakers to self-record and pre-record their presentations. I know that we just watched a presentation. I'm sure most people know. There's two main ways of disseminating educational content. There's on-demand content, which is able to be viewed, at an attendee's leisure once they have access to it and it's open. And then there's live streaming. So I'll show you what you see here on this little window in our lobby is something that's actually live right now, and it's being live streamed. I'll get to that in a minute, but I just want to show you as well. This is me logged into our kind of traditional conference management software as a speaker and as an attendee and as an exhibitor, but I just want to show you part of our abstract management system or speaker management system allows me as a speaker to log back into my portal where I may have originally submitted my abstract, which was reviewed and accepted or rejected, possibly accepted as a poster or a platform or an oral presentation. And this was the first button and the first thing that we built when transitioning was this record button. And from here, this allows your speakers to, from their speaker management system or your abstract system, turn their microphones on, turn their cameras on, and then start sharing their screens and record their presentation. So this tool in itself has helped some of our clients collect hundreds of hours of on-demand educational content. And when this presentation, I'm not going to record anything now, but I'll just show you, I would be able to record this, and then that video becomes automatically married with the abstract, or the submission ID is technically what we call it. That presentation that I recorded something here, I think last week. Our research started with. So you can see there, that's an on-demand presentation that is married with this abstract. When this presentation then gets scheduled in your program using our program module, it becomes available for on-demand consumption. And I'll show you a difference between on-demand content versus live stream content. And then I'm going to try to show you a lot of other things as well in this little time that I have. From this lobby, I'll get back to this, but I just want to show you along the left panel here, we have this bar that shows you your sessions. And by default, our system will be populated with a lobby, sessions, and your program information, participants, a social lounge, and chat and networking functionality, and an exhibit hall if you guys are interested in using that. I just want to focus on the education bucket to start and show you that when I click on this browse button by sessions, you can see that we have two sessions that are actively live right now. So there's something that's live streaming, and then you can also have on-demand sessions. So I just want to show you, if I click on this live session, you'll see that that window that was streaming a minute ago on the lobby, that is going to be able to be watched here from this main area. And I just want to show you as well, we have what we call mini commercials that are built into the system. So you can monetize and sell advertising for both your live stream sessions and your on-demand sessions. So I'm just going to let this commercial play through.
You're one of us. Whatever you want, we'll get you there. You're not like anyone else. You're just what we're looking for. It's time to enroll in your future. Nevada State College.
I've seen that commercial many, many times.
Most in their lives. Today.
So this is an example of me entering a live stream session. I saw that it was live now, and I just was forced to watch a commercial, and now I'm jumping in. I'm late for the session, but it's here, it's live, and I'm taking part in it. The way that we do this, we can work with production companies. We have preferred vendors that we work with. We also have a pretty unique way that your speakers can broadcast their own Zoom sessions into our platform. So it's kind of a deeper conversation. It's very easy to do. It's what we call self-hosted live streaming. This example here is not self-hosted live stream. This is meant to replicate a high-level production that's being broadcast into the system. The idea here being that attendees like myself watching this presentation, I can ask questions. Hey, what time does this end? And by me posting this question, it's now in limbo. So this waiting button means that this is waiting for approval. A session chair or moderator or conference administrator is able to approve that question and make my question now visible to attendees to upvote and like. Me as a regular attendee, I'm only able to view the questions that have been approved or my own question, and I can sort them by popularity or by latest. The idea here being that a session chair or moderator would be able to vet, approve, disapprove, disregard, reply to questions, and then relay those to the speakers presenting for them to answer in a live Q&A session. A lot to be discussed about this, and I don't want to spend too much time, but this is showing you a live stream session with our embedded Q&A widget. Another piece here, just to show you, is you can see on the left side here, this is the name of the session type, the session time, and this is a live stream that's happening as part of the session. There's also presentation IDs or talks or abstracts that are tied to the session. You can see there's 4 of them. When I click on one of these, this is now showing me an on-demand talk.
We assessed need for
so
quick
this on-demand
screening.
presentation and this on-demand presentation let me watch at leisure these talks.
Trap success was
I just want to show you, I'll mute this. This on-demand presentation, this speaker has recorded themselves and also uploaded content here. So this is a poster file. And in watching this poster file, I can use our e-poster tool to pan and zoom around this. And another kind of interesting or useful tool here as well is if I just unmute this speaker, we have a picture-in-picture tool.
Seats in their burrows. Therefore, it's possible that during that initial increase in
watch and
light,
listen to his presentation
increase in
at the
risk,
same time
individuals were able to
browsing
shift
through his
to
poster.
feeding on these cached food resources and reducing their above ground activity.
So,
however, if this is the case,
it's mute that for a second. It's a nice way to be able to kind of mix in on-demand content with live stream content and then collect as much or as little educational information as you have possible. We want our abstract and speaker management system to be much more than just a tool to collect proposals. We want you to collect as much rich content as possible so that you're able to use it to, collect and communicate with your speakers, then schedule presentations, and then all of this content that you see here will dynamically be generated and built based on the information in your system. I want to explain the difference between on-demand versus live stream as well. I showed you a minute ago the live stream Q&A tool. That is meant for an attendee to, in real time, type in and ask speakers questions for them to answer verbally. This is what we call a discussion board. And these discussion boards are used not really meant to be live in real time, but meant to be ongoing conversational pieces where people can post questions, comments, have discussions, post information, and these live on. These will live on through the duration of your virtual conference, whether that's 6 months, which is what we by default hold data for, or whether you decide to keep this as a virtual conference archive for 10 years, which we can also support. Okay, away from the education, I just want to mention one more thing. This office hours button, it kind of opens up a new door into our virtual platform that is pretty exciting. This allows you to have on-demand presentation, which is really low stress for you as a conference planner in organizing and scheduling educational content. Our office hours button allows people, in this case, Chatty Janoshek would be told to have his office hours at a certain time. And this is Chatty, and he knows that at, let's just say 1 p.m. on Wednesday, that's when his office hours is scheduled. And that means that attendees are able to consume on-demand content and then jump into a virtual office hours, which is a face-to-face conversation with Chatty if he's there. I want to show you a few different use cases for this our virtual chat rooms and networking lounges. And I know I'm moving quickly, and I really hope that I can have some more in-depth, deeper demos and conversations with you guys if you're interested in our system. So I just want to show you, I'll go straight to our networking lounges right now just to show you. This office hours is a embedded video chat application that lives in our system. So anybody who has access to this platform, AKA an attendee or an exhibitor staff, a speaker, would have access to these rooms. If I click on this social lounge, we call them social lounges or networking lounges. You can call them what you want. This is an example of a networking lounge. And here you can see we have 6 rooms that we've created. They're predefined rooms. Here you can see that this room right now has 9 people in it. There's 5 in this room, 3 out of 16 in here. Our networking lounges, we allow 16 people per room. They're meant for impromptu social networking and talking. I just want to show you, I won't click into here, but I want to show you, you can see that there's sponsored networking lounges. If I click to join this room, we can have mini morsels as well for networking.
Whatever you want, we'll get you there. Like anyone else, you're just what we're looking for. It's time to enroll in your future. Nevada State College.
Almost done. Now I'm entering this networking lounge. This is a video chat room that knows who I am and where I'm entering. So it's just spinning this room up for me right now. And I'm on my Zoom camera, and there's a lot of cameras. But this is, right now, I'm in the coffee break room. These can be educational rooms, sponsored or not, or technical rooms, or just, yoga rooms, residence rooms. And I'm just gonna jump in here. There's 9 people. So now I'm the 10th. And as I jump into this room, hey guys. Okay, here's some videos. Hey everyone.
Hello. Hey guys.
Hi.
All right, well, we do our morning calls. Some of our developers have a call in the morning, so I just wanted to pop in and let them know they'd be in there. So you can see there's some of these active rooms. These networking lounges have different use cases and applications throughout the system. So I want to show you another one, and just being cognizant of my time, I know I'm running out. I have 15 minutes left, and I want there to be some Q&A. We have a participant screen which lists all of your attendees and your exhibitor staff and speakers. These are meant to replicate badges. These badges are just standard artwork that can be sponsored as well. So there's a lot of places in the system. I haven't shown you too many of them where you can have sponsorship and exhibitor visibility throughout the site. These badges are a very high profile place. From here, you can filter through participant types. So if I wanted to see only session chairs or only members or members from Australia, for instance, I can then filter through all these badges and ribbons. And for a lot of our clients, ribbons are a pretty important piece to their conferences. So we really wanted to replicate that. If I click into an attendee's profile, it shows me their bio, their contact information, and it shows me as well the presentations that Abby's associated with. From here, I can jump back into the educational or technical side of the program, and I'm back into the session area. One last thing that I just wanted to allude to, well, it's not one last thing, but just one thing I wanted to mention. If I filter to these on-demand sessions, we have a whole continuing education module as part of our system. And I just wanted to make mention very quickly that part of the system allows for session evaluations, presentation evaluations, and educational credits. So in here, this is an embedded session evaluation tied to this session specifically. There's education credits associated with this session. And we have a tracking tool that tracks how much of each presentation a user has watched. So by virtue, most of our clients will do this, is by virtue of watching all of, 100% of all of the on-demand talks within a session, completing a session evaluation, and potentially completing a test, then you'll earn the certificates associated with that session. So it's a big part of our system that I don't really have enough time to get deep into right now, but would love to talk about it with anyone in more detail. Talking about chat, so from the badges, from the badge area, you can find attendees that you're interested in chatting with, start text-based conversations or text-based chats, and then you can also have one-on-one video chats within the system. So there's a lot of different applications, the office hours, one-on-one video chats, networking lounges, and then the last application of our video chat tool is in our exhibit hall. So you can have face-to-face verbal conversations with exhibitors, which is probably where I should head to next. I'm gonna ignore the questions for now, and we'll get to that in a couple minutes. The last thing I should show you as well, we have an internal social feed in our system that is meant to be more of an educational social feed. From here, you can see we have some sponsor area on the side, and each one of these posts is happening on an educational session. So Pat asked 14 hours ago a question to Clayson, and that's part of his talk. If I click on this, it would take me back into this session on the effective number radiographs, this session. And these are discussion boards that are happening on-demand sessions. Again, on-demand versus live stream, different applications, different use cases, but both have their own place and a very important place in the system. The last and one of the most important pieces to show is our exhibit hall, our virtual exhibit hall or exhibitor directory in this case. Here you can see, I guess I haven't alluded to it enough, but I really want to make clear that all of this is one kind of end product of a much bigger ecosystem of conference software. So I just want to show you, this is an exhibitor listing or a sponsor listing listed by sponsorship level. I just want to show you back in the front end where I showed you how I would have recorded an on-demand talk as a speaker. If I just back out a step, I can also use our exhibitor and sponsor registration system. We have an individual registration as well as an exhibitor and sponsor registration system. And I just want to show you, I'm alluding to this because this is an important piece of collecting and building your virtual exhibit hall. If you're able to, I know that of course you have other vendors and systems in place, but if you're able to integrate your exhibitor registration with your virtual exhibit hall, it kills two birds with one stone, along with lots of other birds and stones across the system. But this area is where you're able to, if you want, sell sponsorship opportunities and sell things within the system. So this is an example of a shopping cart where I'm able to purchase sponsorship items, add my staff, check out, pay, and then this page here, company profile, is where I'm able to populate the data and the information that's tied to my booth. So from here, there's company information, social media links, product information, general contact information, product information, which is an important piece to this, which is where I'm populating the content in my booth. I'm populating staff information and adding staff members to my booth. And then exhibitor analytics, where I can see all the people who came to my booth and interacted in my booth. So I just wanted to quickly, very, very quickly allude to the fact that all the content in the virtual exhibit hall should be and can be populated by your vendors themselves, so that when I click into a company's virtual booth, it shows me all the data that has been provided by the vendors themselves. And so this is just an example of a booth that has company information, social links, links to websites, product information, videos, staff members, the ability for attendees to reach out, send messages, contact staff individually, contact the booth, contact the company themselves, enter virtual raffle prizes and giveaways, and then also join the exhibitor booth. And this is the kind of the last one to show you right now, is the last application of video chat lounge through the system. This is when exhibitor hours open. I now have entered Exceed Technologies virtual booth. So there's a lot of different applications for our video chat networking lounges through the system, and the exhibit hall and exhibitor booths being one of them. I know I just spoke fast and viciously in the last few minutes, so hopefully it was not too quick or too overwhelming. I know there's a lot to show. Just backing out to the lobby. So I'll just give you an explanation of the lobby itself, kind of starting at the front at the back of this demo. The lobby is kind of the entry point for an attendee. This page, this video that's kind of streaming right now, it's just a preview of something live that's happening. And I want to show you, there's also this channel changer, right? So this is a kind of a peek into the room itself. if I click on next, I'm able to flip through channels to see what's being presented. And so right now there's 2 channels that are running live, and you could have seen that on the session screen. It's a little bit of a preview. If I wanted to actually view the session and take full part in it, I can click on visit, and there should be, maybe it's not actually streaming right now. But I can kind of jump into a live stream session from the lobby. And if there's nothing that's actually scheduled to be live streaming and live streaming through the system, then you can have fixed videos that are set to play and scheduled to play. Then you'll also have a ticker of your recently released on-demand sessions. And you'll also have a popular videos tab that shows the sessions that are getting the most views and the most comments on them. And then along the side, there's this activity feed that's pulling in all the educational comments and questions that are happening, as well as a Twitter feed that gets pulled into the main lobby. And then this is my personal badge where I can edit and manage my profile. I think I should take a break and...
So just kudos to that and our...
Sorry. I will take a break, and I don't know if Reggie, if you're looking at questions, but I haven't been, so.
Yep, I am looking at the questions. So here's a couple of the questions there. Julie Walter asks, what platforms are used for live stream? We've got many military and government speakers who are unable to use Zoom. MS Teams seems to be acceptable for them. So what do you use for live streaming?
Yeah, so we have an integration with Zoom. We have a lot of government clients and end users that are government employees. So we're aware of the Zoom Gov issues. So we have, what you can see here on this this live stream that's happening right now. This is a full produce, it's at site. This would replicate a hybrid event, a speaker at a stage. Right now we have clients that are using production studios with green screens and production facilities. Our embedded live streaming tool is through Zoom. Basically what happens, and it takes some time to grasp this, I think, but it's a very important piece. Your speaker and your session chairs and moderators can use Zoom. And this is one option, is using Zoom. You're able to, we provide the Zoom accounts and configure them so that your session chair or moderator would only need to click one button. And basically what happens then is that we configure that Zoom meeting link to a streaming channel that then gets pushed to our system to a session, which is then broadcast live for attendees to use our Q&A tool and ask and kind of just watch, right? So we call it self-hosted live streaming, allows for attendees that are watching to just view and use our Q&A tool to ask questions. But if you have speakers, sessions, and this is a budget thing that some clients that are looking for lower cost solutions, self-hosted live streaming is a great lower cost alternative to just having a Zoom channel and broadcasting your meeting live. If your speakers or some of your speakers, a keynote speaker, can't use Zoom, it's not a problem. All you need to do is have a production company, and we can help with this. I know that's another question, so I'll get to that in a second. There just basically needs to be a third piece of software and somebody there to take that Microsoft Teams meeting or a WebEx, GoToWebinar, whatever it is, any platform really, a webinar system, and take the meeting that's happening on that and broadcast it. And so there's lots of systems that can do this. We can help with it. It's just broadcasting a meeting outside of Zoom and pulling it into our system. So there's a lot of, there's different ways to do it. Our self-hosted live stream is through Zoom, and it's a low cost, low complication way to take a private Zoom meeting and broadcast it with no fear of anyone who's uninvited getting into the meeting. So all of the attendees are really just watching and doing everything in the virtual platform. There's no external links anywhere throughout the system. One other thing just to mention is that everything that I've showed you today is all built internally by us. There's no third parties. There's no integrations with other systems outside of Zoom for the self-hosted live stream. So if you have questions, interest in integrating other pieces of this, other pieces of your own tech stack into our system, our development team is open and willing to have those conversations. So there's a lot of flexibility on our end.
Okay, one other question I see here, Jeff,
Yep.
Grant, is does XCD offer production services for live sessions, or is it self-service using Zoom?
Yeah, so we do work with like vetted vendors and production companies that we've worked with. We have long-standing relationships with them. We would recommend and make those introductions. We're not a production company, and we're not experts in producing shows, like technically. So we can put you in touch and we can provide you with production services. That's no problem. A lot of our clients also already have, long-standing relationships with AV companies and production companies. So if you have a production company that you guys are more comfortable with using and you have long-standing relationships, what we do is very simple in terms of taking the content that your production company is producing and consuming it in our system and distributing it to your attendees around the world. So it's no problem. We can go either way. And I see this next question. Do we have the ability to limit one user to two logins?
Yeah, that was a little bit too.
No, one user to two logins. No, I'm not sure if what you're asking is, does the system block multiple users from being logged in at the same time? The answer is yes to that. But if you're asking to take one attendee and create two accounts with it, we kind of can't do it that by default, but there's lots of workarounds and ways to do this. It could just be a matter of how you guys are selling registration. And this is kind of a whole nother universe to dive into, but I just want to show you part of our system. And I should mention this. Yeah, correct. Yeah, no, they can't share credentials, especially for when your conference is live. We lock, if I was to log in on two different devices, only one of them can be logged in at a certain time. I just want to show you as well, in our system, we could integrate with your current AMS or your registration system, or you could use our internal registration platform, which is used, has been part of our system for a very long time. I just want to show you that from here, if you were to add an attendee, whether we were to do this via API for a real-time integration with your registration system, or if you were using our registration system to sell tickets to ticketed events and ticketed sessions, it's very, it's meant for large academic conferences. From here, you can manage all of your attendees. And it's kind of interesting that if somebody was to, violate terms and conditions of your registration, at any point, if one of these attendees went from complete to incomplete, they would automatically become locked out of the registration site. So if you wanted to add a new attendee through our system, you're able to add attendees. You can add registration values to their attendee record. So that would be able to, if you have ticketed sessions or ticketed events, registrations can have access on a very granular kind of access level. You could have exhibitors or exhibitor staff who only have access to the exhibit hall, and they're kind of locked out of all your educational sessions. There's a lot of different ways and flexibility in the system in terms of like giving people access to the virtual platform. And that's kind of why I just wanted to jump back in here. All of this is a whole nother kind of universe of our system. This is the administrative dashboard of our platform where you're able to manage attendee registration and speaker management, your program, your mobile app, your virtual platform, your front end, membership, forms, evaluations, continuing education credits. So there's a lot to show, and I certainly can't do it in the next 2 minutes or couldn't do it in 20. So anybody who has any other questions, I see that there's not too many questions on the Q&A, but I'd be more than happy to schedule some time offline and spend, an hour or more, because like they were saying before this, it's a really important evaluation process for our clients, for our current clients and new clients that are coming and using our system kind of as just a virtual platform. It's a complicated, new, kind of scary world, and us being here to help guide you through that world is part of our jobs at this stage. Soon this will be kind of everyday life, and it'll be more comprehensible. But for now, explaining how our system can work, how virtual conferences can work, it's something that we've been doing for the past 4 or 5 months now, just really explaining this to clients. How does this work? How does it work within our system? What are the options? And there's just a lot that I wasn't able to show you today, so hopefully we can spend some time offline and dive into this a little bit deeper. So
Grant, just for my own knowledge, so what we're seeing here on the screen right now is kind of the main lobby area that when somebody comes to the conference, this is where they land.
Yeah, this is the lobby, and then along the side here, there's what we call, so these pages, the sessions is kind of a big one.
Hello, everyone.
Sorry.
Our engine.
This is the lobby, and then you have all your sessions, your attendees, social lounge, your chat, social feed, your exhibitor directory, and then these are what we call custom pages, where you can create as many custom pages as you'd like. This is an overall conference evaluation. We have a support tool in here. There's just a lot that I couldn't have time to show you, but an internal support system in here. a notification area where you can schedule, instant notifications, scheduled notifications, or notifications that will disappear at a certain time and live for a finite amount of time. So a lot to show, and I want to respect everyone's time here, Reggie, but if you have any other questions, then please shoot them.
Appreciate it. So Grant, quick question for you. Do you already have a longer demo either on YouTube or some other place?
Yeah, we do.
So if you want to, you can post that link in the chat area and also send that link to us, and we'll make it available to people post this demo day. Okay.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. I'll do that. I'll send you, Reggie. I'll just email you some extra information that you can publish.
Thank you, my friend. So
okay, thanks everyone.
We appreciate it. And folks, what we're going to do now is take a 15-minute break, and during that break time, we'll bring up the next participant. So thank you a lot, Grant. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Scott, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine, my friend.
Good. I'll start my video.
Yeah, do me a favor, share your screen to make sure we can do that appropriately, sir. And as I always say, just be aware that people can hear us as we're setting this up. Kind of get to see what's going on behind the scenes a little bit there. Yeah, I can see your screen just fine.
Great. Okay. Simone, I'm wondering if Simone's in right now too.
Let me see if I can find Simone.
Yeah, let's if we can make her the co-presenter.
Simone Ryland.
Yep.
So Simone has just been promoted to be a panelist. There's Simone right there. Simone, how are you this morning?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for being here this morning. And
yes, thank you. Thanks
for weathering our Zoom and other kind of internet storm that's going on this morning. You know, somebody reminded me that it's back to school day in a lot of places right now. So I'm sure that's wreaking havoc on the internet and other things as well.
That's a good point. Yeah. You forget when you've been out of school, at least for me, for so long, I had no kids and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, it is school time.
Yep. So as I told Scott, just be aware that people can hear and see us as we're going through this setup.
Sure.
You guys, it looks like everything is okay. I'm going to mute myself and stop my video for a minute here, but we'll be ready to kick off at exactly 10:30. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
All righty.